Hey everyone, Ken here from Whistleberry Arts, and today we're going to be doing something pretty cool. We're going to be doing high-speed off-camera flash photography, making splashes, water splashes. So, what's our setup? We've got our camera, we've got some stuff, we've got our water, we've got a diffuser, we've got an off-camera flash. Let's look at these things in detail. First, you need a table, a flat surface that's going to give you a stable place to put your material. Next, you're going to need a towel. You're going to get wet, it's going to be sloppy, water will be splashing around. You need to be able to keep the area as dry as possible. Then you need a flat surface to put on top of the towel. The only purpose here is to keep the glass that you'll be using that's full of water sturdy and stable. I just used a piece of plexiglass, a piece of cardboard would do, a box, anything really, just as long as it's flat and stable. Next, you're going to use a diffuser because you're going to be flashing light through this object, through something that's going to spread the light out. For this case, you don't need anything really fancy. I took an old bed sheet and a tub that I bought at the dollar store. I tore up the bed sheet, ignore the yellow stains, that's from a previous project. It's nothing gross and gooey and gross. And then I just taped it using duct tape and I attached it to the frosted sort of plastic container. You can see that it's just about a foot thick and it's just taped to the sides, trying to get as many of the folds and creases and wrinkles out of the fabric as possible. Of course, you're going to use a flash or a speed light. This is going to be off camera, so it's not attached to your camera. It's going to be on the table behind your diffuser. In order to fire that flash, you're going to need the remote trigger system. This is just a transmitter and receiver. This comes in a variety of brands, different styles. Sometimes the speed light will have the receiver built in. Use whatever you've got. This might be an investment for you if this is something that you want to try, but it's worth it. You're going to need a glass, of course. This is for splash photography, and you need something to hold the water that you're going to splash. Then, of course, you need water. You can't have a splash without water. So I just have a big container of water. That way I don't have to keep running back and forth to the tap and whatnot. Fill the glass with water and keep that water level very close to the top. You want those splashes to really pop out of the glass. So if your water level is a bit too low, you might get some really nice splashes, but you won't see them necessarily because they're down inside the glass a little bit. You want them to really splash outside the glass itself. It's also a good idea to just have a few extra hand towels or towels laying around. You're gonna get sloppy, it's gonna get wet. Every once in a while you're going to want to stop and wipe down your surfaces, wipe down your glass. You don't want too many beads of water on the outside of your glass. Then of course you need something to drop. In this case, I'm using these little translucent cubes. They're sort of like fake ice cubes and dice. They're different colors, but I chose translucent because it also allows the light to pass through and they show up really nicely through the clear glass with the light flashing behind them. Attach your receiver to the flash and make sure it's turned on, of course, and then attach your transmitter to the hot shoe on top of your camera, also making sure that the transmitter is turned on. Diffusing the light, you could do one of two things. You could either put your flash inside the container, sort of between what would be the bottom of the box and the fabric, or what I found worked even better is I put the flash actually behind the box. Now the one thing you'll notice is that the flash right here is about a foot behind our tub. That means that the bottom of our tub and our fabric will act as a diffuser. One last thing you're going to want is a spoon, and this is simply to retrieve the dice or cubes or whatever you're dropping into your glass of water so you can scoop it back out. Now don't forget these dark flags. That's what's going to give you those defining edges along the side of your splashes and the side of your glass, and you're going to get much, much better photos than if you do it without them. Your sideboards will get wet. Your diffuser fabric will also get wet. That's okay. Even if there's some anomalies in the final photo, we can always fix it in Photoshop. And now, all we do, take the thing you're going to drop, and you want to be about a foot up because you want the biggest splash possible. When you're ready, it's just down to timing. 3, 2, 1. Looks good. Let's try it again. 3, 2, 1. Sometimes you miss. 3, 2, 1. So there's no definitive settings for my flash or my camera. In my environment, I was using flash at about 1/3 power, and my camera I had at 1/250th of a second at f11 and ISO 200. Your environment is going to be different, so it will just be a little bit of trial and error. But what's important is the flash, because that sudden flash will overpower your ambient light, and that's what's going to capture the motion in the moment. So you will avoid all of the blur that would come from a very fast moving object, in this case the water. Now this is going to take a little time and patience. You might have to adjust the power on your flash. You may have to refocus every once in a while. Sometimes you're going to drop your object and you're going to miss. Don't worry about it. You're not always going to get really great splashes. In fact, you're probably going to get fewer splashes than you are shots, but don't give up. Keep at it and you'll find that sweet spot. And then once you get your timing worked out, you get your lighting worked out, you're going to get some really cool photos. So good luck and have fun. You're going to get the outcomes you want. Just be patient and stay dry.